Hello, welcome, namaste. This is Ali here, and this is going to be a restorative yoga practice with some warming, gentle movements that'll be really good for some of the joints and tissues of the body. And this practice is sort of a winding down type of yoga practice as we move towards the winter solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere. So this is a great practice for any time of year because many of us have overstimulated nervous systems. And so this is really kind of the antidote to that. This yoga nidra and restorative yoga, it's really to help remind you of your body's innate and inherent vitality. So by doing these practices that allow us to really slow down and very much activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which allows us to go into our rest, deeply resting, deeply nourishing. It's digesting and integrating, and of course this is the state where our bodies are able to go into healing mode as well. So that being said, I will link below to one of Tina's videos. She has a wonderful video that teaches you how to create restorative yoga props with things that you already have in your home. So if you would like to join in, but you don't have blocks or bolsters or things like that, look for that video. Now, this practice is one of the practices, one of the sadhanas from my online course, the Winter Solstice Restoration, which is full of different practices just like this to ground and nourish you through the winter solstice and beyond and through the holiday season. But also it's just a lifetime access course that all of these practices are available to you anytime, just anytime that you need to calm and soothe and restore your nervous system, or there's practices specifically to wind down for sleep. It's very much embracing this sort of cocooning time, this hibernation time through the wheel of the year. You can join me on the mat and I'll show you what props we need for today. So what I have for props today is one bolster. I have two blocks beneath that on top of my yoga mat. One is at its middle height, parallel with the top of my mat. The other one is perpendicular to the top of my mat, so they're in a T shape, and this one is on the lowest height, and then my bolster on top of that. Like I said, there's a link below if you don't have these particular props that Tina will show you some really lovely options that you might just have in your home. And then I have a folded blanket here nearby, just in case. I'm just going to put this over here. So you might take a moment and pause this video to go and get any props that you might need. You might also like to turn on a diffuser with some of your favorite calming scents or some of your favorite winter scents. You might have incense or aromas that you like to bring into your practice, or some gentle, soothing music. I will also link below a Spotify playlist. If you have Spotify, you might like to pause and put a playlist on with some gentle, calming music as well. So once you have everything that you need and you're ready to go, we'll start with some gentle movement. We're going to move with the breath, so cultivating a deep diaphragmatic yogic breath. We'll bring the left hand to the heart, right hand to the belly, and then closing through the eyes and taking a deep breath into the belly for the count of 4. And then exhaling internally the count of 4. Inhaling for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Feeling the belly expand on the inhale. And letting everything go on the exhale. A couple more deep breaths like this. Inhaling belly, ribs, upper chest. Exhaling all 3 regions together. 2 more deep breaths like this. Good, and then very slowly and gently fluttering the eyes open. You might keep your eyes partway closed, a diffused gaze. And then bringing sacrum towards the bolster. And we'll bring the hands out behind to support the body and take the feet about mat distance apart with the knees bent. And then continuing with that breath, a deep breath in. On the exhale, letting your knees sway over into a pinwheel position on one side, and you might actually reach this arm around into a twist. And then on the inhale, coming back through the center. Over to the other side, bringing knees across into a pinwheel position and reaching back into a gentle twist. And we'll just begin to move with the breath in this way. So inhaling to the count of 4. Exhaling, inhaling, exhaling to twist. Staying true to the range of motion, mobility that feels good for your spine, your hips. Following your breath. If at any point you feel comfortable to close down the eyes, you might close the eyes down to kind of feel your way through these movements and breathing in that 4 count rhythm. And the next time that you come over towards the left side, so my left hand is on the earth and my right arm is reaching back, I'm going to pause here. And if it's not comfortable to be in this pinwheel position with the legs, so I've got my left knee bent, my right knee bent, and my left foot is coming up towards the top of my right thigh. If that's not comfortable for the hips, you might extend your right leg long. That might feel a little bit more comfortable in the pelvis and the hips or the sacrum if there's any discomfort there. And then bringing right hand onto the right hip, I'm actually going to bring my left hand across to the opposite side of the bolster. And then inhale to look over your left shoulder. And then on the exhale, turning to look over the right shoulder. Now begin to let your pelvis move through space. As you inhale to look over the left shoulder, let your right hip lift up off the ground as much as feels good. And then as you turn to look over the other shoulder, let your hip drop back down. And then following your breath, inhaling, exhaling. And it doesn't really matter which direction you're inhaling and exhaling, as long as you're moving with your breath. Looking over one shoulder, looking over the other shoulder. Good, and the next time that you look over the right shoulder, pausing here. Inhale to reach the right arm up. Exhale to bend the elbow, bringing the right hand behind the head. And you might be able to find a little bit of a ledge at the back of the skull there to gently grip onto with the hand to create a little bit more support for your head. And then, when you're ready, inhale to look up to the sky. You might draw your right elbow slightly back, just as far as feels good. And then on the exhale, bringing the elbow down and across towards the left knee. Again, just as far as feels good. And then on the inhale, lifting the elbow up. Exploring a stretch that feels comfortable for you. Exhaling to lower down. Again, when you feel comfortable, you might close the eyes and kind of feel your way, inviting that 4-count breath if it's comfortable. And the next time that you lift the right elbow up to the sky, exhale to release the hand from behind the head and bring the fingertips onto the shoulder. Inhale to circle the elbow forward and up, and exhale to circle the elbow down and back. And then just moving in that way, inhaling to circle forward, exhale back. Good. And the next time that you exhale, releasing that hand down and pressing the palm out away from you. Inhale to sweep your arm forward and towards the bolster. Reaching. On the exhale, bend the elbow and bring the hand behind the head if it's comfortable to, and then pressing out through the palm. Feel a stretch in the forearm. If you can, spread your fingers wide. Inhale to sweep the arm. Reaching. Exhale, hand comes behind and presses out. We'll do that one more time. Good. And then rolling the wrist gently, a couple of deep breaths here. And then bringing the left hip up nice and snug to the bolster, bringing the legs into a comfortable pinwheel position, or if that's not comfortable, can feel a little deep for some people, you can bring a blanket or a pillow between your knees and stack your knees. We're bringing hands on either side of the bolster so that we can walk the hands down and rest the left ear, so left hip, and resting left ear onto the bolster. And then flipping palms up to the sky. Now if it feels like there's a really deep stretch in the right hip flexor or anywhere here along the side body and the right side, please take a moment to stack those knees for a little bit more effortless comfort. And then closing the eyes. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the tongue, welcoming the breath deep down into the belly. Relaxing the eyes, and all of the intricate little micro muscles behind the eyes. Relaxing into the scalp and the muscle of the mind. Welcoming that steady, rhythmic 4-count breath. And as you rest here, you might be able to welcome the beat of your heart. Notice if there are any little adjustments you could take to get even 1% more comfortable here. And on each exhale, imagine your whole body melting into the support beneath you. Let your mind relax from the world of thinking. And just dropping into the world of sensing, listening, feeling each breath in and out. And if the mind begins to wander off into the future, the past, just gently guiding it back here to your breath, giving yourself permission to simply rest. Resting deeply into the support. Deeply resting to allow all of the trillions of cells to activate, all of the little intricate chemical functions that are taking place constantly at a microscopic level. Repairing, restoring, regenerating. Deep rest like this just enhances the regeneration process so beautifully. So there's nothing that you need to do. the less you do, the better. Give yourself permission to simply be. As you welcome a sense of presence, the awareness, spacious awareness that's always available in each and every moment. Allowing yourself to just relax back into that spacious awareness. And 3 more breaths here. And then a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more breath like this. And then, with as little effort as possible, you might flutter the eyes partway open and bring the hands to face the earth directly beneath the shoulders to very slowly, very gently press yourself up. And we're going to transition to the other side by letting our knees sway again. So hands can come out behind, letting your knees sway all the way over to one side. Inhaling for the count of 4. Exhaling, letting it go. Inhaling through center. Exhaling. Nice, slow movements, like a meditation in motion. Flowing with your breath. As you bring the knees to one side, you might look over that shoulder. Just a soft gaze, or you might even have the eyes closed as you explore from side to side. And then bringing the right hip up to the bolster this time. And snuggling that right hip up nice and close. And I'm just going to magically switch directions. And you can stay just as you are. This is more just for me to be able to speak towards you instead of facing the opposite direction. So staying just as you are with your right hip up nice and snug to the bolster. The right knee and the left knee are bent. The right foot comes up towards the top of the left thigh. Again, if this isn't comfortable, you can extend your left leg. If it's not comfortable for the sacrum, the hips, the pelvis, for any reason. But if it is comfortable, you can stay in this pinwheel position with the legs. Bring the right hand to the outside of the bolster so that your hands can be on either side of the bolster when it's time. And then left hand to the left hip now. As you inhale, looking over the left shoulder. 4 count breath. Exhale to turn your head looking over the right shoulder and let your left hip lift up off the ground just as much as is comfortable. As you inhale, let the left hip drop back down as you look over left shoulder. And exhaling over the right, letting your pelvis move through space, feeling the rotation of the spine, and just following your breath, nice and easy. Exploring gentle movement. Wringing out the spine. No need to strive or strain, just moving gently, exploring your body. The next time that you inhale, let's just exhale to release that hand off the hip, and then inhale to reach the left arm up. Exhaling, hand behind the head. If it's comfortable, you might grip the little ledge at the base of the skull and let your left elbow lift up to the sky. On the inhale, gently lifting the elbow or even drawing it back slightly if that feels good for the chest and the underside of the arm. And then exhaling to draw the elbow down towards the opposite knee, just as far as feels good. Inhaling to lift back up skyward. Exhaling gently down and across. And then following your breath here. You might close through the eyes to feel your way through this movement. Relaxing the jaw, parting the teeth. And the next time that you let your elbow lift up, you might reach the arm up and then dropping fingertips down onto the shoulder, like you're tenting the fingers there on the shoulder, and then inhale to sweep your elbow forward and up. Exhaling, elbow back, down and around. Again, always staying true to the range of mobility in your shoulder joint or any other part of your body. Just deeply nourishing movements or what your body needs. So that might be smaller circles or larger, whatever feels right for you. Good, and then we'll let that arm come out to the side. On the inhale, reaching forward, reach, and then all the way across towards the top of your bolster. On the exhale, bringing the hand behind the head if it feels good. And then pressing up through the palms, spread the fingers wide, finding a stretch in the forearm. Inhaling to reach. Stretching through the side body maybe, and then exhaling, pressing the hand away. Let's do that one more time. Good, and then rolling up the wrist. You might imagine you could close your eyes and take deep breaths into your wrist joint. And then bringing that hand down. So hands are straddling this bolster and your right hip is nice and snug up to the bolster. Remember, if the pinwheel isn't a comfortable position, you can bring a pillow or folded blanket between your knees and stack the knees on top of each other for more comfort. So we're always looking for more comfort in restorative yoga. Whatever is the most comfortable position is whatever position our body's going to be able to relax even deeper into. So bringing the right ear down to rest. Hands and arms draping down onto the earth in a comfortable position. It's nice to flip the palms to the sky here. And then notice if there's any little tiny adjustments you could make to get even more comfortable here. So that might be adjusting the legs, or maybe shimmying the hips a little closer. Know that it's always worth the extra effort to get even more comfortable. And then you might just take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. You're settling into the support of your bolster now. Relaxing the jaw so that the teeth might part. You might even draw the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Allowing your breath to come back to our 4-count rhythm. So you're really letting the full belly expand with each inhale. Creating space for the lungs to expand even more. And simultaneously, it's like a little tiny gentle massage for the neurons in the belly, which help to stimulate the parasympathetic response in the nervous system. Notice if there's any tension in your face. On each exhale, just letting go. Letting go even more. Feeling the support of the ground. Each exhale, body being received by the support of the ground, the support of the props. Allow your senses to be open wide here. Noticing sounds, aromas, light beyond your eyelids or darkness. Allowing it all to be. The sensation of your breath. Noticing that rhythm and how it provides an anchor to the present moment. That spacious awareness of the present moment that's always with you. And you can just relax back again into that spacious, wakeful presence. Couple more breaths here, just relaxing into the support beneath you. And then taking a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, letting it go. And one more time. And slowly, with as little effort as possible, flipping your palms down to the earth. And slowly, gently pressing yourself back up. And again, we'll let the knees sway, so bringing hands out behind you on either side of the bolster. And swaying knees slowly over to one side. Inhaling back to the center. Slowly over to the other side. Back to center. And then let's pause in the center and just cross the legs into a comfortable seated position. I'm just going to turn to face you so you can see the next movement. We'll bring hands onto the lap and inhale to shrug your shoulders up to the ears. And exhale to roll the shoulders back and down. You might tuck the chin as the shoulders drop. And then inhaling to shrug the shoulders up high. Exhaling, shoulders draw back and down, and the chin might fall to the chest. We'll do this a few more times. Inhaling. Exhaling. All right, and one more time. Good, and there's going to be a couple of different options for this last final relaxation posture. You might keep your bolsters as they are, and you might bring a pillow for the head or a folded blanket. I'm just going to show the couple of different options. So one is to relax down onto your bolster in a supported Shavasana position. So you might extend your legs. If you have another bolster or a few more pillows, you might tuck those beneath your knees, or you might bend your knees in a comfortable position. So this is a nice passive restorative option. If you'd rather take this bolster and bring it beneath your knees and lay down onto the earth for Shavasana, you can do that as well. Or I'm going to show one other option, which is a restorative fish pose, which is a little bit more of an active restorative posture. We teach in our moon-to-moon restorative training, yoga teacher training, we teach the differences between active and passive restorative postures. And this one's a little bit more of an active stretch. So bringing the bolster up nice and close to the sacrum, and then laying down onto the bolster, you can take the fingertips to the center of the clavicles, and then just tracing along those collarbones towards the shoulders with the fingertips. And then let your arms just fall out to the sides. If it feels like a little bit too much of a stretch through the chest there, you can bring your arms a little farther down. Whatever feels comfortable to hold for a little while here in this final relaxation, and then closing down through the eyes. So notice what posture would be most therapeutic for your body today. It might be a savasana with the bolster beneath the knees. It might be this restorative fish pose, or you might choose the restorative reclined shavasana, the first one that I showed. So once you've chosen your final posture, taking a moment to set yourself up, and then take the next few moments to make any of those final little adjustments so that you might be even 1% more comfortable. And then begin to relax through all of the muscles of the face again. You might take a deep breath in, and then letting it out. Feel the support of the props of the earth. And really let yourself sink now. Each exhale, sinking deeper, deeper and deeper relaxed with each exhalation. Remember that the less that you do, the better here. So the more that you can soften, relax, let go, the more you can let your mind soften, release. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. Relaxing into the support. Each cell resting deeply. Trillions of cells relaxing, so deeply relaxed they begin to activate all of the innate healing mechanisms that the body already knows how to do. And the less you consciously try to do, the more this ancient wisdom of your body begins to engage. So just let yourself float here on the rhythm of your breath. Waves of respiration rolling in. Waves of respiration rolling out. And now, with as little physical effort as possible, begin to animate the fingers, just moving gently the fingers, the toes. You might take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then slowly nodding the head from side to side. Just very small movements of the head from side to side. And we'll very slowly make our way from whatever posture you're in over to a fetal position. So by bending the knees, we can scooch the pelvis to one side and come to lay, and you might even use your arm as a little support beneath the head. And again, let's just rest here for 3 deep breaths or so. You might breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just feeling support of the ground as you exhale. And then just very slowly, mindfully pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you enjoyed this practice. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this practice, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Let me know how you're feeling. If you'd like to explore deeper into some of these practices, if you'd like to join the Winter Solstice Restoration, which is a lifetime access, go at your own pace, online course with myself. And there's many people who have joined this course and have given me such wonderful feedback about all of the different practices. They're all about grounding and deeply resting and restoring and doing less through the holiday season and embracing this sort of time of hibernation and restoring and revitalizing the body through practices of deeply resting. So there are special practices just for this time of year, but also restorative yoga that will support you at any time in your life, any time that you need a little bit of extra rest. And there are yoga nidras as well in there for you, and I hope that you check it out. There's all sorts of recipes, all of my favorite recipes and Ayurvedic lifestyle tips for this time of year. So much to dive into, and it's such a great resource, and I'm so excited to share it. So if you'd like to join that or learn more about that, you can look in the links in the comments that I'll post above and around and below this, and in the comments, all sorts of places that you can find links to sign up for the Winter Solstice Restoration. I hope to see you inside of that course, and I hope that you have a really beautiful day. I hope that you feel rested and restored and peaceful. Namaste.